Good evening, good evening, good evening. It's Monday. It's Monday. Oh, it's Monday.
Oh, God, it's Monday.
It's Monday. It's season 5, episode 28 of the Plastic Crack podcast, and part 2 of Ask Us Anything, because we were so inundated with such a vast...
AKA lazy about finding something else to do.
No.
Sorry.
Yeah. What you're talking about, the Ask Us Anything has provided us with content for 3 streams.
Cheers. If you could do it, all do that on the regular, that would help us out a great deal.
A heck of a lot, yeah.
But yes, we didn't get through about half of the questions from last week, so we're going to continue it this week. As long as your usual mix of news, hobby updates, viewers, photographs, etc., etc. Before we start, don't forget we are sponsored by Boards and Swords Hobbies in Derby. Use the code PCP5 when you're checking out your order for an additional 5% off your already discounted order. If you are in need of something you can't see, contact Ian and the chaps at Boards and Swords, and I'm pretty sure they'll be able to help you out. Big thank you to everybody that's watching this on the catch-up. We always appreciate that. And I'm going to do my thing now. Like, share, subscribe. Shillerama. Yes, so all the good stuff, So, how are we, chaps? How are we?
I'm okay, apart from the mad panic Dom put me into today.
Yeah, just because you can't read a calendar, mate. That's all I'm saying.
I just like to point out that, like, my clients hadn't realised even. I didn't realise the bank holiday was next weekend. I thought it was the weekend afterwards. So I'd organised lots of things to do with work for next Monday. So I had to unorganise all of that, including the delivery of plant and a whole bunch of other stuff, closure of things. It was all because I thought we weren't going to be here on the 2nd. And turns out we are.
That's almost like we must be married to each other or something, because it's exactly the sort of thing that your wife does to you, isn't it? You find yourself being blamed for something that you had nothing. I just happened to mention that actually it isn't the 2nd, it's the bank holiday. It's next week.
Well, I said to Dom, I did the same thing. I thought it was the 2nd as well.
I always try to be proactive and organise it, because we'll organise my life actually. And so Steve's here this week, then it's Dom next week, then it's the bank holiday. Dom had already come up with some crap excuse for why he's not going to be here on the 2nd.
It's my daughter's marriage.
I think you could do the stream from the reception. I think that'd be perfectly fine.
Listen, even Ken didn't do it from his reception, so I got no chance.
That's true. That is very true.
A plan with no drawbacks. No, I'll say to Dom, because I've got the joys of Creamfield to listen to this weekend, because I don't live very far from it. Yeah, and it's always the last weekend in August. But this year it's not. It confused me, and I then realised I'm off work on Monday. Yay! So swings and roundabouts. Right. Before we get into what we've been up to, let's see who is here and the weather updates from around the world. So rain in South Wales valid. Normal weather. The plan's to prime a load of models in the outside window, so he's painting Spanish dragoons and swearing a lot. Oh, good stuff. We're back on the big screen again from David.
Hey,
back on the big screen. Good stuff.
Even more handsome than normal.
It makes us feel like celebrities. It really does. DWR 71279. Hello, nice to see you here. Big City. Hello, Don. What's he up to? He's working on his OPC project. More whatever they are for Song of Ice and Fire. I ain't got a clue. I'll be honest. It's not really my thing. Red Steph. Hello, Ham and Jam. Painting some lovely Perry's American Civil War.
Nice.
Rich M. It's raining here in Stratford-upon-Avon, so some basing for him tonight. Was like an update from Paul. It's a dull, blustery, and fairly cool Mercia.
Ooh, no moisture.
No moistness. No. It's been very moist here today. It's been a moist northern day today. But Paul's on some ancient Spanish cavalry tonight.
Very nice.
Rogue Troopers here. More ACW. Good stuff. Laser Pirate Painting. Damp Bristol. Working on AWI and some 50mm tanks for AK-47 Republic. Matt Mail, assembling hundreds of Persians in celebrations of the victory, even though he voted for Perry. Hippos Hobby Hours. Some British Redcoats for fighters Zulus. Nick Davis here. Hello, Nick. Hope you're doing well, mate. David, it's a soggy Edinburgh. Far too much rain they went in the garden, so I guess it'll have to be on the PCP instead. What a shame. It's terrible. Terrible that you should not get to enjoy the rainy weather. Yeah. Lionheart, hello. Carl Burks. It's blustery and wet in Saddleworth tonight. And Mark has got 38 in South Texas, undercoating, brush, obviously, yes.
Oh my God.
8 more ACW. Can everyone contact Victrix and ask them to get into ACW, please?
Go on.
I was going to say, I've noticed ACW over the past couple of months, it's got really, really popular on here.
Yeah. That's because you can paint it any blue you like, as Dom proved.
And,
you can.
And Dom's choice of blue has even made its way into our Gallic Wars chat, hasn't it, Dom? Because we want to make sure we want to make sure we get the right shade of blue. That was a comment on one of my videos that I had the wrong shade of blue for the pissing.
It was, I remember.
Oh, do you know what? I was talking about that this weekend, and I said that might be the finest example of historical pedantry I have ever come across, ever.
I know. He got very upset when I sent him pictures and a link to a paper in experimental archaeology with me, and he sent me back a load of abuse.
That's what you want. That's what
you won, basically. If you get abuse back, you know you've won.
That's why we're in this hobby, for the abuse.
Yeah. Well, some of it's quite creative, I have to admit. You know, it's not like. Well, actually, also I sometimes you see someone just says your mum, something like that. It's like,
the creativity. 9999, pardon. Gandoa's here. Dan, hopefully no natural disasters this week. Dan, can we get through a stream without an earthquake?
Yeah, no earthquakes, please.
No earthquakes. John is here. Cooler but stormy in South Florida. He's working on his own PC as well. Nice. Benjamin's here working on his World War II Soviets for Catcon 5.
What's that? What's
Catcon 5? I'll tell you what it is. It's 8 weeks today.
Oh, Jesus. Bennett, really?
8 weeks today. Yes. Shell Shock Scenics evening. Hope you all well. Very well, thank you. Dave Benton's here. It's just done that thing. Mortzerk, evening all. Carazette. Graham's War Game Vault. Martin, good evening from Jersey. Welcome you to evening. Mike Schubert, that's 15 degrees C in the Western Cape in South Africa. Jimbo McCroth, he's in the Irish Midlands where it's currently very soggy. Steve's here. Hi, Steve, how you doing, mate? Bit cooler. Yeah, he's not far from me. He's playing some Necromunda Squats. That sounds like a band, doesn't it? Andrew Jeff, good evening all. Weaver Fish from a very cloudy Sheffield. Craig Canasi is painting Space Marines and enjoying a single malt. Oh, what an evening.
Wow.
What an evening. What an evening in. War Game in History. Hello. Matt, hope you're doing well. He's got a right bunch on the tabletop tonight. 20mm French Cuirassiers, Luftwaffe Field Division, flags, and an Austrian 28mm Limber.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Duke Wellington, good day from Oz. Double Dip, Sam Gates, across the pond. Colin, what's Colin painting? 18mm Cossacks. Maybe one day I'll finish them.
Nice. What period's that for? What, are they for Second World War or Russian Civil War? What are they?
Yes,
or Napoleonics? I mean, Cossacks feature in everything, don't they? Pretty much.
We need to know the details. Ahoy, evening all. Andy from Friends of General Haig is here. Grana Prego, hello Anthony, Little Legions, hello Stig, Andy Stocker, Matt Mail. It's still raining in the Midlands apparently.
Yeah.
Joseph is working on some Burrows and Badgers scratch buildings. I think Joseph was. I think we got Joseph into. I think we broke down his.
We did.
We did. And he's now into Burrows and Badgers, but everybody likes them. Whenever you buy those miniatures, you start painting them. You just like them.
I have never heard anybody say anything negative about them.
Oh, don't you're almost challenging someone.
I am.
Yeah. And if they do,
I'm challenging anybody here to come up with a rational reason
they
can't like furry animals with axes. Come on.
Yeah.
In wargaming, I just hasten to add, not as like
generally as well.
No, just not something we do with a roll of sellotape.
No.
Shakos and Sprue. Shakos and Sprue. Folks. Miniature Odyssey. Hello, Robin. Hope you're doing well, mate. Mieszko, evening from the humid marshes of the Chesapeake Bay.
Ooh,
is that a new one? Get it on the map. Get it on the map.
Oh my goodness me!
That's a new one. Andrew Pennington, hello from Halifax. I think Don's confused as well. Is it Monday?
Don't say that, Don. They're already confused. They've no idea what's going on.
No, I was very, very, very confused by it all. History and Dice. Hello, Philip, Marky Sparky, Daniel Moreno, Robin Rose Holden. Have I got a flow diagram for the show? What are you trying to say? I've got an Excel spreadsheet. No, I haven't really. I've not got an Excel spreadsheet. Old school FRP, no painting today. Prepping garden for 40-degree temperatures over the next few days. 40? I remember it was 40 here once. My God. My brain stopped working. It was my soul hurt. It was so hot. Oh, look at that. You make a lovely couple, Dom. Carson Lambert. No super moon. Oh, did anyone see the moon last night? It looked completely insane. I looked out, full moon, pink. Really, really good.
I forgot. I went to bed.
Well, there we go. So Carson is in Eastern Jutland. Jeremy, good day from Alberta, Canada. Got to tell you what, the map needs to be updated. It really does.
I need a better map, actually, because it's only got countries and everyone's got so many different bits of it. It's just brilliant. I'm going to have to find a new map.
Louis Baby, Dermot Connolly, Miller's mentions that. Jay, Miller, I've not seen you in a while. Hope you're well, mate. I think we're getting down to the end of that. Yes, there we go. So, before we crack on with the rest of the insightful questions that we were given from the past couple of weeks, let's have a look at what we've been up to. Let's start with Martin. What have you been up to, mate?
I've done a few things. I'm kind of working my way through this sort of pile of nearly finished stuff off the back of finishing like all that epic stuff. I thought I'll use the opportunity to have a bit of a palate cleanse and go through them. So you might remember I said I was working on a medieval building.
Oh yeah.
So I finished that. Well, it's actually two buildings.
Oh, nice.
The little one kind of sits onto it. So this is 3D printed from printable scenery. What's ace is all of the interiors are done, including like fireplaces, bookshelves, and things like that. But I've just sprayed it black. No one's going in those buildings. It's pretty straightforward. And I've got to say thank you to Alex at Storm of Steel, who pointed me in the right direction of how to get in the mortar. The way I normally do mortar is by basically creating this kind of really soupy wash, and then a little bit. He pointed me in the direction of using wood filler. And that's what I've used there on that. So to get in the mortar, because it was really bugging me. So because the other process, it involves gloss varnishing it and then allowing capillary action to take this wash and then matte varnishing it, and it works really well, and it looks cool. So I like that. So I've printed another one.
Oh wow!
But what I've done for this one, this one's having a red tile roof because these were more common in the medieval period. But what I did with the file was I mirrored it in the slicer. So same building but different, if you see what I mean. Like I can put them side by side and not exactly the same. Yeah. Which is what they are, but they're not, if you see what I mean. So I thought it's a neat little way just to get a little bit more mileage out of the buildings once you've printed them. You can, if you just mirror them or use certain bits. But also, I realised
they print better as well.
I tell you what, it printed better than that last one I did. That last one I did was crap. But if you pay, I think the file was $6, and I had no problem. So that cost the equivalent of about £5 in resin.
Wow.
But I did realise, because I accidentally put, if you put the single story, it still works.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, yeah, I was quite quite impressed with that. So I might just do a whole load of these. But I've got to finish this one, and then I'm moving on to something more ecclesiastical. Yeah, I've got those. Then what else did I do? So I had another game of the Punic Wars this time.
Oh yeah.
Well, I say this time it was against Robin. So it's sort of a take two. This time we used essentially the same armies as last time, apart from I added that unit that I painted last week.
The right one or the wrong one?
The right one. I painted the right one on the screen. And then what we did essentially was upgrade a load of the units this time. So and then just played a slightly different type of battle. But here's one of the main points where the Carthaginians. I found that putting my elephants in the skirmish line works really, really well. If you send the elephants up there with the skirmishers, which are not near your block infantry, it goes a lot better. So yeah, this was sort of kind of approaching halfway through the game where I was trying to like push the centre back before those Romans on the in the distance sort of could join up.
Nice.
But yeah, it was just another good fun game. The Carthaginians are. I found that because the Romans are Roman, and you know where you are with those. That the makeup of the divisions are all very, very similar. But the Carthaginians, with such the varied troop types, actually getting the combination of troops right in your division is really important. It plays a much larger role than I actually gave it credit. Also, if you're going by the army lists, the ability that the Carthaginians have to upgrade their general to commander rating 9 off the bat is actually killer for the Romans, because the Romans can't do that. They have to roll for the general's leadership at the start of the game. And a roll of a 1, he's a 7, 2 to 5, he's an 8, and a 6, he's a 9. They don't have the option of upgrading him.
Wow.
So just like, potluck, your consul might be crap. The normal commanders are all 8. The Carthaginians, you could spend if you spend 25 points, you can make him a solid 9, which is definitely killer when it comes to getting those early orders off. But I did finish something else. I finished more. Is Don's in the chat, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I believe so.
You're gonna want to look away, dude, because I was painting more Dark Angels.
Yay!
So these have been on my desk. So I'm still planning on playing Zone Mortalis and just having like small narrative games in the Horus Heresy. But I finished these two guys. Nice. I know it sounds a little bit weird, but I've tried to approach painting these the same way as I do historicals and not go too mad with the glowiness of things. Does that make sense?
It does.
Sort of earthy tones, and so these are obviously GW miniatures, but with some bits that I've printed. Carry on with your sick little fetish. I have so many of them.
Which one?
So I did these two, and these two as well.
Nice.
Which was quite fun. And sort of using oils and chipping effects and things like that, just to right. And then here they are with that test model I did a while ago. Who looks like Sean Connery from First Night. But the thing is, that's a third of the army. So for Zone Mortalis, you only need like one troop squad, one elite squad, and a leader, and that's it.
Cool.
So there's no vehicles other than walkers in it. So I'm currently painting some Terminators, some Dark Angel Terminators, and I've got 5 to do as World Eaters. So, but it's just clearing the desk, as it were. And then I've got 30 Militia Spearmen for the Baron's War, lots of ghouls, lots of Numidians, some creepy ghost things, a 54mm Lord, and whatever the hell those are over there. But I'm trying to clear all of that before I open anything new. So that's my plan. But yeah, that's what I've been up to, and I'm prepping for it. Tomorrow, we've got our first game of Soldiers of Napoleon.
Cool. Interested to hear what you think of that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm through reading it, I'm very excited. It's on paper, it looks like it's it's ticking a lot of boxes, but we all know that can go wrong.
Doesn't always work out the right way. Yeah.
So I don't know if I'm going to have an SPQR experience, like a DOM SPQR experience, or a STI War Transformed or whatever it was called.
Yes, that one.
I don't know. I don't know. I hope not. I hope not. So so that's where I am. It's been a good week.
Yeah, good stuff. I'm liking the Dark Angels though. I think it's always a good palate cleanser going to a bit of science fiction after you spent a lot of time on historicals. Dom, have you painted any Space Marines this week?
Let me think. No.
Oh, you're disappointed us all.
I did some shaving instead. Oh no, wrong one.
Excuse me.
Shaving.
Not the scathing again. Oh,
no, I did not do any of the sort of. I did have a game this week, which I haven't had a game for about 3 weeks. So, Gamer Graham came over, and we had a game in the boot room here on Friday night of Black Powder, which was great fun. Black Powder Napoleonics, which worked out really nicely. The French got their ass kicked. I'm not going to say who was in charge of who, but given the fact if the French lose and I was controlling them, that's a result as well. So it's all good. So we had fun. So watch the space. There'll be a video going up of that one. What did I do? I continued down doing some more of the little Hannibal fellas. I did some Spanish Scutaris.
Cool.
Quite pleased with how they came out. Actually, I was
very nice. Very nice.
I virtually never do any test sprues, and for some reason, I decided I'd start doing test sprue, and then before I knew it, I'd done 2 units of them. So I was like, well, there you go. So that's them done. I got another one to do, which I was planning to do a video on, but I can't remember how I did the first one. So that's why I never did test sprues, because I can never remember what I did. Anyway, never mind. So that was them. That was fun. They're good fun. And I suddenly realized I really need to crack on and do some Romans so I can actually have a game at some point. But Romans. Talking about hating Romans, I did some more
nice.
cavalry for Catcon. So, yeah. I can't remember. I think these are first call, but I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember.
Well, they're going to be with Vercingetorix on the day. Whoever's Vercingetorix is going to have a lot of cavalry.
There's a load of cavalry. Yeah, I've got another 12 that I'm just priming up, ready to go as well. So yeah, should be fun. What's up? You look.
Nothing?
Oh, sorry. You just sounded like you were confused by
something. No, I was going to forward you something because I've had a post reported in real time from the group, so I'm going to send it to you two.
Okay. Also, talking about ACW, as you were, Steve, I've got really addicted to these fellas. These are great fun to paint, aren't they? So I did my first Johnny Reb unit, which was great. Really enjoyed doing it. So
these are all Perrys, aren't they?
I think so.
Very nice.
So Mad Sean dropped them off about a year ago when he popped in one day, and he said, "Oh, you're going to do ACW?" Because I've been mumbling about it for ages, and he gave me a whole load of ACW primed rebels, and I thought, okay, and then I put them away, and I hadn't got around to them. So I think they're Perrys. They look like Perrys. The dead bodies and the wounded men, I think, are first call, but the rest are. But yeah, they're just great fun to do. Probably the wrong colours of blue, obviously, but who cares? So I haven't done the one. I thought I'd better do another one. So there's a second one. You have to, Steve. They're so easy.
You have to. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I might do a third one.
Observation from Robin. Not sure what the colour of those hats, Dom.
Sorry, Robin. What can I say? So sorry. I'm not at all. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. And I'm just in the process of finishing off some Russian Jaegers, Napoleonics. So there you go.
Are they the right shade of blue?
I hope not, but green, I think. My eyes have gone completely
teal. Teal. Steph, I'm assuming you mean the building is resin. It's not FDM.
There you go. What about you then, Steve? What have you been up to?
Something. I'll just put them up.
Oh yes. Oh God!
Oh, horsey boys! You did horses, mate.
I did horses. That's why it took me 2 weeks to paint them.
Oh,
That is very
These are
nice.
the new. Thank you. These are the new medieval knights from Victrix.
nice.
And yeah, really nice kit. And it's not something I'd normally be associated with, but having done those War Games Atlantic Foot Knights, I'm very much into medievals at the moment.
You know, you've with the other ones you've done, you've essentially now got enough to play Baron's War.
Have I?
Yes.
Pretty much. Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Oh, was it like really, really small scale?
Well, no, it's like because how many did you do? You did. They're in squads, and normally, or their units are normally in. Is it fives or threes and fives? I think.
Oh, right.
And put it this way: a starter army. One of the starter armies is like 4 men at arms, four knights, 4 big chaps with spears, and then a bunch of peasants, and that's like an army, starter army.
Oh, look at that. But yeah, these again, not something I'd normally be associated with, but I enjoyed painting it. They took excessively long because they're horses as well. Oh,
3 men for infantry units, 2 for cavalry units.
Oh, cheers, Matt. Definitely something I'll be looking into. I did enjoy painting them. There'll be a review on the channel, hopefully by the end of this week.
Very nice.
But they were really enjoyable, and I got to tackle those little Big Man Studio decals. I think they just look really good. they work really well on the shields. I didn't put them on the barding because I just didn't want to, and I didn't paint anything white or yellow because it scares the crap out of me painting that amount of white and yellow on such a massive surface like that. So that's pretty much all I've been working on for the past sort of week or so. I finished painting all the starter figures from Core Space.
Cool.
So that's the entire box done. And I'm thinking over the bank holiday weekend, I'm going to have a few more solo games of the campaign of Core Space because it's really rather enjoyable. And as a bit of a palette cleanser, I'm going to paint up the rest of my undead Blood Bowl team. Because I've painted one sprue and I've got the other one left, and yeah, I just think I just need something different. Although after seeing, did anyone see Ken's video, Eccentric Man Ken, about 5 for victory?
V for victory, I think you'll mind. We're not
what is it actually called? Is it 5 for victory or
I
think
claim 5 for victory, but it's not. It's V. Everyone knows it's V.
Yes.
French people.
And I am very interested. It looks like you said it sits it sits between bolt action and chain of command. I like the activation. I think the small gaming area appeals. The really small forces, sort of 15 figures a piece. Yeah, it's so it might have
it does look interesting. I've got the rules, and I did start to read them, but I didn't finish. So I need to finish.
Some channel called Miniature Odyssey has done a deep dive on everything with gameplay.
Has he really?
Oh.
Yeah, but he hasn't bought it round yet. So.
So that's what I've been up to. So I'm going to do some more Blood Bowl. I've got some Oathmark that I'm painting, and I'm finally going to. I shall check that out, Robin. I shall check that out. I was quite impressed by it. It looked really rather good. Although randomly yesterday, I spent a good few hours yesterday just looking at gaming channels I've never ever seen before. Just random ones, and I saw one. For the life of me, I can't remember the name of the channel, but I will look it up. Anyway, this dude had painted a lovely 15mm AWI project using Peter Pig figures, and I had to stop myself. I don't know what system he was using, but again, they were really small. I think it was one base. It was a unit, and it looked really, really nice. So that's the danger of when you go on like a deep dive on wargaming channels or hobby channels that you're not overly familiar with. I watched so many of them yesterday. It was just
Funny enough, the last couple of weeks I've seen more new channels that I hadn't seen before. Not that they're new, but they've just been ones for some reason the algorithm god hasn't given up before.
No, the ones
Very
I've
odd.
seen, they've never appeared in my recommendations before. So it was just a really good way. I think that's what I love about YouTube and people that have hobby channels is when you discover somebody new like that, and who'd have thought I'd been looking at videos about painting 15mm AWI armies? I mean, that's just madness. So that's what I've been up to. Right. So are we in the mood for some more questions, chaps?
Oh, gimme.
Absolutely.
Right. I'll try to replicate any of the ones last week. So let's have a look.
It'd be amazing if you do, and then we give different answers.
Yeah, that would be funny.
I've been asleep since then. So the first one's from Matt. If you had a time machine and could go back to any period and observe tactics, orders of battle, armor, and colors, etc., where would you go?
Well, I mean, obviously, I go back to the ACW period and check that I've got the right color. I mean, that goes without saying.
I just imagine Dom wandering through the fields of Gettysburg with swatches.
With colour palettes going, no, I'd actually having stiff words with them saying, I'm sorry, you're in the wrong colour. According to this, it should be. No, actually, in all seriously, one of the periods I would love to go back to is some of the sort of camp, purely to observe. I would not want to get involved in any of it.
Oh, God,
but the whole thing around Alexander the Great's campaigns and some of those battles that he had in Persia and India, for that matter. How the hell did a very small army of his manage to defeat, hundreds of thousands of Persians of Gaugamela and various other places, Ipsum and all these other places? It's just like, how the hell did he do that? So, because there's so many theories about how he controlled his cavalry, how he managed to, leap on the opportunity to break through and what have you. I'd just be fascinated to see that. I think it'd be really interesting. Yeah, that'd be one.
Martin, it's yours.
I mean, it would be the Wars of the Roses, but mainly because there's so many questions around a lot of the battles, and there's a lot of changing information all the time. I guess the main one would be Towton. Mm-hmm. I would want to know. I mean, the changing interpretation of that battle. I mean, it was no way was there 70,000 people there, But there's the new idea, and with the research, it's shown that maybe it was a running battle from Ferrybridge. So Ferrybridge, Dintingdale, and what counts as Towton was actually all just one almost continuous conflict that's like shifting across the landscape, because the way the chronicles are written suggests that basically it was. So that the death count for it, they think, could be basically a combined count of all of those, which then makes it a much more you're saying 30,000 dead. Well, that's more feasible over three. And when you actually read the accounts, you just see they're very general. Like, there was a battle near York, but and some of the place names are all over. And then you look at the spread of finds, and that's I think it was. That would be interesting. If I had to pick something that wasn't the Wars of the Roses, because I'm going to guess that people are going to go, he does the Wars of the Roses. Look, Rogue Trooper. I think I probably it would probably be this is probably Hastings.
Interesting.
Mainly because first of all, again, the battlefield, has been moved slightly, and I just want to see. I don't. This sounds a little bit sick, actually, I suppose, but I want to see that shield wall on the top of like Senlac Hill and them fighting the Normans off, and then it's suddenly getting broken through. I don't really care about Harold. I don't really give a toss about the whole. Was he shot in the face or what? But I just think. It would have been, it would have been.
It's knowing how these famous battles actually really did happen. I think is half the interesting thing, isn't it? You can think of dozens of battles like that where it's just like, really, was it that straightforward? He whipped off his helmet and everyone turned around and killed them all.
Genuinely, right, Lionheart, he's just said, would I go to Bosworth and tell Richard the Stanley to attack you? No, do you know what I go and do? I go and take a picture of him kicking a puppy or something, then come back here and just show like people he's still an arse. It doesn't matter like you found it, but like medieval people are horrible.
All right, let it go. Let it go.
They're all horrible. History's horrible. Everyone was nasty. Dom's nasty. Everyone's nasty.
What about you, Steve? What would you do?
It's going to sound like a massive cliche. Rock's Drift.
Yeah.
I've been watching Zulu since I think I first saw Zulu when I was about 9, and I've watched it regularly since then. And it's just always fascinating. That or Linda's Farm. I can't imagine Linda's Farm was much fun though.
I assume you're talking about the monks getting slaughtered and not the band.
I was going to say, I had visions of the band all of a sudden.
Oh God, no!
Wow, I wasn't expecting Steve to go that way.
No, I'm going to go. I'll go for Rock's Drift. Like I say, a bit of a cliche, but it's a film and a battle and a period that it's always fascinated me. Like from being like I say 9 years old from first seeing it. We actually had it on VHS on a top loading video. That's how old.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
that's a good one. Have you never been tempted to do an Anglo-Zulu War project?
Yes, yeah. I mean, especially after Catcon 1.
Oh yeah,
because I had Drew's set up next to me, and I was like that. Oh no.
That was purgatory for you, wasn't it? Really? That?
Yeah. There's a bit too much white to paint on the straps and the hell. Yeah, it would make me sad painting that amount of white. So no, I would just observe. That's an interesting one. Okay, next one. Okay, this is quite interesting. If you could teach anyone throughout history to be a war gamer, who would it be? If you could play a battle with anyone throughout history, who would it be?
Oh my goodness!
Anyone we like to be a war gamer?
Yeah. I'm assuming are we talking historical characters here or just anybody?
I assume it has to be historical characters because if you were just like Ned from like 1850 who worked in Birmingham or something, then is it who do we think could benefit from it or just who do we think would?
I'd like to teach Ridley Scott how to play bolt action.
He's an advisor on the next edition, didn't he?
I mean, I think that'd be quite interesting. I actually thought of starting off sounding facetious then, but I wasn't. I don't know why.
I honestly don't know. I'm struggling.
We got 2 shots.
I'd maybe have a game against Custer because I might win that.
Like it. I'm not sure though.
Not sure.
Yeah. Bit ropey,
yeah. I honestly don't know, Steve. Don't know.
Okay. I think that one would take a bit. You have to a bit more lateral thinking. Okay.
It's a Monday night, mate. Come on.
What do you consider the best game you've ever played in?
Ooh,
that's hard.
That is really hard. Can we go back to what historical character?
I can tell you mine.
Go then.
It's not very sporting. It's it's me being a complete an arse basically. I've told it. I've mentioned it before. I was playing at an X-wing tournament, and the guy cheated to win. He was knocking asteroids all over the places. His ships were always missing asteroids by mere millimeters, and he won. I couldn't be arsed kicking up a fuss about it. Anyway, a year later, same shop, different tournament, X-wing, and I tabled him in 20 minutes. And he got all huffy, and he wasn't happy. And he was accusing my list of being overpowered, and just because he didn't lay a finger on me. I think I lost one shield in the entire game, and I tabled him. And I just thought it's not a very nice. I mean, normally it'd be a last stand or a particularly good dice roll or an inspired counter attack that that won the game. No, I just wanted revenge on someone that had done me over the year before.
Oh jeez. I don't know. I mean, I would say that I really quite enjoyed the game that Martin Miller and I and Ken was there, wasn't he? Before Warfare the other year, but he's here, so I'm not going to talk about that. So I think the one that really sticks out in my mind still, and I have mentioned this a long time ago, was when I was a lot younger. I played one of these multiplayer 28mm games, which was the Refight of Waterloo, and it was literally I don't know, 30 players, 15 aside or something, and played in the village hall somewhere near Oxford, and it was just monumentally fun. Just so enjoyed that game partly because the game was great and quite challenging and fun. The figures are amazing, but we also had a damn good laugh doing it, and it was just awesome. So I think that's one that always comes back to me. Love it.
I see. I'm a little bit stuck here. Because I got to say it was good. I mean, the Siege game, which was a culmination of obviously Dom lending me that supplement, which I tried to hold hostage, and how he bought for me actually. So I would say thank you. Getting the castle built, making that base, trying to set the board up in the exact same way 3 times to do 3 battle reports, and then I that Siege, even though it's not the biggest game or maybe the best setup that I've done, I think I've done better ones since. It just played out, in my head. It was engaging, it was fun, and it was ace. So I really enjoyed that. If we were talking just sort of like maybe a big game I took part in, probably it would be the game where Ken came to visit me, where he sent all of the old guard and everything marching up the hill to fight my Hanoverians. They just battered him for about 4 hours straight. That would be that's probably one of my favorites, just because I had to put up with so much of his shit talking, and then he can get rid of them. So I think I'll probably say one of those. So it's I don't have any tournament experiences, so I haven't got anything like that where I can sort of say where I beat some arsehole who was like that. Or can I just say where I beat the arseholes who are my friends?
Well, that's going to move on to the next question from Benjamin. Have you ever played an opponent, no names, who you would never want to play again?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I played I played one person, and we used to play when we were playing Warhammer Fantasy. We would my mate worked at a hotel, and there was like this essentially like a house on the grounds, and they didn't use it, so he always got permission, and we could basically just play in this like massive house and have a big game in there. And then this guy came, and just some of the arguments that I had with this guy, like I had like a dark elf assassin, and I took the abilities Killing Blow. So if you roll like a 6 to wound, they're dead. They don't get any armor saves whatsoever. Head comes off. But I also took the poison ability, which is if you hit someone, with a if you hit with a 6, they're automatically wounded, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I got the I can't remember how it went around. That was it. So no, it wasn't that automatically wounded. You got a bonus to wound. So I remember my guy hit his general, and then I got Killing Blow off, so cut his head off, and he was like, "Oh, that doesn't count because you got the poison." It's like, but he's still got a sword in him. He's still got like a sword through his face. And then the same one, we had one of those spells go off where the template moves across the board. Like you roll and it appears and it moves across the board, and it damages everything underneath it, right? And that's how everyone has ever viewed it. And it was one of those ones. I know Dom doesn't have a clue what I'm talking about, but Steve, you needed like a 25, 26 on the casting roll to get it off. Amazing. And I got it off, and he basically said, no, it doesn't damage anything under when it moves over. It's just where it ends up. I was like, you stupid! Like, what are you talking about? We had this massive raging argument to the point that I walked to Games Workshop, which was around the corner. And I was like, I need to be right. I need to be right about this. I was, but yeah, I vowed I was never going to play it again. It just wound me up chronically.
That sounds infuriating.
I'm not going to mention names or people or timelines even because it's too. But I just there have been occasionally players who I've come up against through my multitude of years playing games, and I just, for whatever reason, partly occasionally, like Martin says, people who just complete arses and just those kind of rule mongery, difficult, don't want to lose ever. Yeah. But also just some people just think I don't like you. And I don't dislike many people, but occasionally I do encounter somebody. I think life's too short. I want to enjoy the fun around the table. And if there's some arse on the other side, or it's like no. So no, there's one currently who I just will not play with at all. And he's I won't talk about that. But yeah, definitely there are players. Because for me, it's the social side as much as anything else.
Well, for me, it was one person at an X-Wing tournament, and they just sucked all the life out of the hour that we spent playing. It may not have been. There was just no fun. The game before that, me and the guide spent an hour making Star Wars noises when ships were firing, quoting lines from Star Wars, and laughing maniacally when our own ships got destroyed. It was just a really, really, really fun game. And then so I went from that to, it was like going from Takeshi's Castle to Mastermind. There was just a shift in dynamics completely, and it wasn't fun. There was no banter. He wouldn't speak while he was playing. It was horrible because it was Star Wars and it was X-Wing, and I was having it almost ruined the day for me, because I just thought, how can you play such a fun game like X-Wing and just not enjoy it? Just exactly not. I mean, for him, it was just a game where he was throwing some dice. For me, it was Star Wars. It was a X-Wing game that I've been playing for a couple of years, and I really, really loved it.
Have you ever had a thing where there's somebody that or somebody's got a reputation for being a real arse and you don't want to play, or you see them or anything, I don't really want to play with you, and then you play with them and you think, actually, they're all right, quite like them, they're absolutely fine.
When I used to go to the regular games club when I was younger, we had a couple of what we at the time used to call power gamers. So they were sort of just cheese mongers, and they were just they weren't there to have fun. They were just there to flex and stomp people, and just have no enjoyment of anything at all. And it's not nice play. I mean, because we only had sort of in the group, it was largely an historical gamers club, so there was only about 10, 12 of us that actually played sort of science fiction games, workshop games on a regular basis. So your opponents would cycle. You'd play people week in, week out, and there was a couple that I knew that once I was packing my army up going down to the club that night, if I knew who I was playing, I'll be like, I'm not going to enjoy tonight, because they're going to question every rule. They're going to question every dice roll. Their armies are just going to be not themed. It's just going to be a pure cheese list.
All about cheese,
cheese. Beardy war games, power gamers. And I mean, I've said it before, but that's what killed second edition 40k for us, because in a way we all turned into that player.
Right.
The fun was gone from it. All we wanted to do on a weekly basis was just annihilate whoever we were playing, regardless of who they were. We at the end, we just thought, this isn't nice anymore. We're all going to end up hating each other, because they're just not nice games. Thankfully, as I've got older, there's not many people I would say I wouldn't want to play against.
I haven't really had it in wargaming because I'm very lucky that it's my friend. It's generally my friends, and you know, I mean, obviously I've taken some part in some events, and there's been some people I've been a little bit unsure about or whatever, and that's been fine. But generally, the gaming group, which I would, you know, say is, well, I'm still yet to give Steve a game of anything. But so like Dom, Ken, Miller, Robin, Matt, Haley. You know, I've got quite an expanded game. So I've got about 12 people that I do game with. Not all of them go onto the channel, and you know,
Yeah.
but where I've experienced it is in TTRP, tabletop role playing games. There are some people who I flat out will not play with, not because like, I mean, I've got some worrying friends, you know, some dark friends, okay. You know, where some of my friends who are like have you know, are in charge of like staff and people. I'm sitting there going, I don't think you should be. I don't think you should be in charge of people's welfare because you seem to be living out some really horrific dark fantasies here. But just the people who we had one guy who was recommended, and so one of our regular friends brought this chap along from uni that he'd met, and he was just the most like pedant-driven, horrible person. And when it came to playing the game, well, as soon as we weren't playing the game, I got on with him fine. But when we were in it, it was, you know, it's like, oh, I want to go and buy I don't know, sword or something, and then that would be like a 35-minute long excursion. So your trip is he's flipping through the book, where at which point I'd be drinking more and more beer. By the time it comes back to me, I'm too pissed to care what's going on. But yeah, TTRPGs, I became very wary of people who I do those games with. We never did any of this. I know a lot of people just kind of like put up a post to be like, who wants to play Dungeons and Dragons? No, we're not like that. We're like click for life. I like my clique.
I think it does make so much. You know, it always is those people you just gravitate to and what have you. But I do remember I did a thing in crikey, it was a while ago now, up in Nottingham when Warlords were at their old building, and they had a sort of themed campaign day. I think it was when the first D-Day book came out, and I went up there because I just thought I fancied having a go at it to be a laugh, and it was. But I remember watching from a distance and hearing this guy at the other end of the room. He just always seemed to be having a row with somebody. Like, oh Jesus! And I ended up fighting him for my third game.
I thought you meant you were going up and punched him.
No. And I thought, oh, geez, he's going to be and actually, he was the nicest guy in the world. He was actually really nice. And he knew his rules inside out and upside down, but he was absolutely fine. And I thought, oh, all right. So we actually start from this point of, I'm not going to like you. This is going to be horrible. So actually, he's all right. I mean, he tabled me in a few turns, but it's fine, you know, it's absolutely fine. It's all fun.
Do you not think that gives off a bad vibe? I mean, if somebody knows, I mean, there's a good chance that when you go to a tournament, you're not going to know 99% of the people there. And if your first impressions of someone looking at you down the tournament room and you're flailing around, angry, complaining about rules,
it's not going to go well.
First impressions last, don't they?
Do. Yeah, but see, this is the thing. This is again. I see. I just wouldn't. If someone was being a knob, I'd just leave. I wouldn't be able to do it. I wouldn't care about that. I'm off. See you later. Because I'll say something that I regret, or nobody immediately gets thrown out anyway. And I wouldn't find it enjoyable. Like I've slowly everyone in the comments is slowly winning me round to maybe going to a tournament I'm trying to find a game that I play that I would want to play in a tournament. I'm yet to find one. But I might go. I might be up for doing something. And then like stories like this, it was like, no, do you know what? Just I've got it right. For me.
To be fair, it took me when the subject of tournament play of X-Wing came up with my mate. I was like, you know what? I'd never been to a tournament in my life, because I'm not a competitive player at all. I win, lose, draw, couldn't care. And so to go from that to go into a tournament, I mean, I knew it was X-Wing, so there'll be some laid back nerf herders there. But it was still a daunting thing because I didn't want to go. Imagine going there and playing, 6 games in a day and playing against 6 complete cretins.
Oh yeah,
it would just ruin the entire thing for me.
I did play. I just remembered I did play in a competitive match a Warhammer World once with my Dark Elves against. I can't remember what it was. I think it was just like a. I don't know if it was like a winner stays on. I can't quite remember how it works, but I was in a competitive game. God, this would have been about 99, 98, 99. Maybe not, maybe early. I can't remember. Anyway, I got tabled by like 20 skinks that just ran around the board away from my Dark Elves. They just, like, the skinks, Dom, are just tiny. Well, it's like a skink in real life. It's just a tiny little lizard with a blowgun. That's all it is in this bloody game. And they essentially evade and shoot. And I was just like, chasing around the whole thing, and like my Hydra, my Dragon, everything got worn down and killed. I was so angry. I think I was about 14. Or something like that.
Have you ever had it from people you don't expect it from, though? I remember playing, again, going back years when we were playing, God, must be 30 years ago now, we were playing Blood Bowl sort of 2nd edition. And for a laugh, I had a Goblin army, a Goblin team. And we had a Friday night around my mate's house, and we had like 5 or 6 Blood Bowl pitches set up. And by half time, I was beating his High Elves 4-0. And he flat refused to play the second half. He just wouldn't play. It was just I was so taken aback because he wasn't normally like that.
Yeah.
But I think because he was quite prideful in his wargaming career, so he didn't like losing, but he wasn't a sore loser.
I'd never be able to play a game.
That's true. Actually, you would.
And another example of someone who you didn't expect it from. I mean, there's a good chance he's not watching this because I've not seen the guy in over 25 years. We had this big thing in our games club where he floated the idea. He said, "I don't play Necromunda. You guys do. Why don't we play like a Gene Stealer incursion into the Hive? And for one game only, all your gangs are allies." And so there was 4 gangs, so against his Gene Stealers. Now I think he thought he was going to come in and he was going to win. He was going to shred us all, and we'd have a great night. And he didn't. We absolutely. I think we were about 3/4 of the way through, and he just packed it all up and went home because he said, "Oh, I'm not enjoying myself." It's like you're not enjoying yourself because because you're losing, and what are you envisaging in your head about your Gene Stealers ripping our gangers to pieces? Isn't happening because we're not taking any casualties whatsoever. And he was again. It was a bit of a shock because he wasn't knowing like that. Because he used to put on some fantastic participation games that he put a lot of effort into, and he did with this as well. He brought his own scenery. It was massive 3D scenery. It was brilliant. But it just.
I wonder whether that was why, because he had put so much effort in, and his mind, he had it all planned out. And if yourself, however much you don't care about winning or you're just loving the game, if your dice are absolutely shocking, the other person's dice are amazing, everything you do goes wrong, your morale drops. I know it does for me, and I freely admit it. I've watched myself on some of the videos I've recorded, and I go,
I just expect it. I just expect it.
I think sometimes you just, I might have said you expect it. You're going to have games where your dice rolling is bad.
Right. Okay. I need to go. Right. The game should be live at this weekend, right? The latest Epic thing. I'm not going to give away, but something. I don't. It's not. What's the term? Unexpectedly horrific happens. All right. Where it was just circumstances played in a certain way, and I could see how someone who isn't as used to getting their ass kicked as me would maybe just pack up and go home. But you just find it funny by that point. It's.
No, I think you do reach a point where when things go against you. I mean, I remember playing ball touch a couple of years back against my mate, and I had US Marines veterans, so their morale's 10, and they each had a pin. So I needed to roll 9 or under, and I rolled 2 11s and then my mate, his dice was just killing everything. And I did reach a point where I just thought, I don't want to play it. But I thought, no, I can't do that. I should be the bigger man.
I think that it's a special kind of player that can carry on with that kind of thing. And I have to say, I do get to that point in some games when it just, I remember when I did used to play a lot of tournament games and I can remember playing a tournament where literally it was a doubles. Me and Nick were playing it, and literally for all the games, we just had the most. I mean, Nick always had bad luck. He was just for something reason. I don't know what his dice were, what he did in another life, but we just could not win a thing. It was every time. It's like you're going up, like you say, you go up against something. It's like 10% chance of you losing, and you'd roll, whatever it was, and it was just like, oh, for crying out loud. And that was the one time I think, and especially because in those days. Didn't get out very often because we had young kids, so it was like it was a special weekend to get away and have a weekend of gaming, and it was just a frigging disaster. And I found that really hard.
That's just reminded me of this comment that I was been starved from Benjamin. Oh, it's not that one. Where is it? So this guy here. So Benjamin was playing him. The guy he did a bad deployment, so Benjamin, he won the game in turn 2. Anyway, his opponent went to the organisers and demanded a replay because he'd paid for 3 hours of wargaming.
I like that. That's kind of a good idea.
See, there's your problem. Never assume that a game's gonna last 3 hours. That just makes me laugh. I can imagine that. So I've just been tabled. I demand a replay. I got tabled 2 quick.
I demand a replay because I'm shit and I really want some help.
Let's do 2 more before we go on to the news. To generally quick ones. It's a good one from Steve. I think I'm opening the floodgates here. How would the PCP get into the Guinness Book of Records?
Well, for Martin, it'd be how many consecutive games he can lose. Or how many consecutive ones can I roll? No, it's got to be something to do with Ken and the fact that he's a minister, surely. How many weddings could the PCP officiate until it now?
No, it could be the most wedding ceremonies completed during a game of bolt action, or something like that. Combined,
is the ring in the bag with the dice?
Yes, it is. Yeah, yeah. You got to combine Ken's ministerial obligations.
It's a more serious one. Maybe we could have what wargaming group has the most far-flung membership.
Yes,
we've pretty much got everybody. I think only Antarctica or something. We haven't actually got somebody from the continent on.
I think it would definitely be that
because we've got South America. We've got
most beers consumed during a game of black powder.
Oh, geez, that could be bad.
Do you know what's a weird thing? If I'm gaming, especially if it's, I don't have a beer when I'm gaming. Very rarely that I do.
There's the one.
The most wholesome one. That's a fault.
I misread that.
Yeah.
The longest
strong one from David.
Yes. How long was that? It was a good 6 months, I think, before I
Yeah, I think it was.
I like that one.
Oh God,
oh my God, do you remember? Oh my God, I forgot all about it.
I still want a screen grab of all our faces when he told that story. Because I know. I got to be. Oh my God.
There was just a stunned silence.
But he was just like. And then he started going on about the fact that he really hoped that it would. Do you know what? I don't even bring it back, but he started going on. The thing is, what you guys don't see is obviously we carry on after a stream. We have often have chat. He carried on that time, and genuinely, he was talking about the taxes and how it should be VAT. That would mean that if that material became VAT exempt, he wouldn't have to pay VAT on that modelling material. Like, it was ridiculous. But we had to sit there. I think we actually might have just all closed. Yeah, bye. See you later.
Yeah, I think I probably cried myself to sleep that night.
Oh, Matt, that's
dangerous.
That is dangerous. Cheap beer, love it. Fantastic. Nice.
Oh yeah, the longest time to paint a Blood Bowl team. Yeah, I think it was 6 years. What? No, 6, 7. It might be 7. I think it was 6 years. To paint a single Blood Bowl team. I started them in February 2017 and I finished them last year. So yeah, 6 years.
You're right.
Yeah.
Seems like every time the phrase "do you remember" is uttered on PCP is about Ken. Yeah.
And then we have some mind-killing flashbacks to what he said or done or admitted to.
You guys should hear what he says when he's not being recorded.
Yeah. You have no idea.
How many refunds can one man get in a weekend? 10. Yeah.
I'm about to get again.
Yes. Okay, one more, but then we'll go to some news, and I need to go and get a drink because I'm really thirsty. What period or genre did you never imagine playing, but now you really enjoy?
I would probably say the 30 Years War stuff I did for By Fire and Sword. It was I never even considered it before. I just saw that lovely rulebook and I bought the Kickstarter campaign. I was completely sucked in by that. I don't play it very often, but I love it when I do. I really, really do. I never thought I'd be playing as Cossacks or 17th century Swedish. I really never, and then I just saw that it was the Kickstarter for the English edition of the game. Sucked me in with its beautiful rulebook. I bought it purely on the strength of how the rulebook looked. There was no gameplay videos or anything. I bought it based on that. And then of course I read down, it was like no points, or points don't matter. You build your army and then there's a system for advantage and disadvantage. So yeah, that would be it.
Oh, that's a tricky. I don't know really, because I've said before, I love playing all periods and all games, so I don't know there's anything that I'm not doing now.
Burrows and Badgers.
Yeah, but I haven't played a game of that, mate.
Well, it's still something that you probably never thought you were going to do. That you.
If you're talking about things I thought I'd never get into, then that absolutely is up there. I couldn't imagine ever. Why would you paint a?
Ooh. What about your Bruce's in Ireland project? Because while it's broadly medieval, you can't tell me that before you sort of did that, like that sort of found out about it, that you ever really thought about it before, or?
Oh, I see. Well, I thought I was taking it more broadly as the sort of period or the wars or something that you do. I've always loved the medieval period, and I think that fascinates me. So, but you're right. I mean, as an actual campaign project, no idea I was going to do that. Didn't even know a month before I started it. It was only watching that YouTube video. So no, that definitely is a strong candidate for that. Never. But no, I mean, genuinely, I love playing games, so it doesn't really bother me particularly. So even fantasy stuff I would do. It's just the fact I don't, because nobody else plays it. So around here. So
I think for me it'd be anything that I've started recently, because when we first started doing this, I was like 99% bolt action. That's all I did. It's all I painted. It's all I played. It's all I did videos about.
Yeah.
And I've just got into so much stuff that I've enjoyed. I mean, there's a few things I've not enjoyed, but there's loads of things. I mean, like the epic scale American Civil War. Love that. Love painting it. Can't wait to play it. Brilliant system. I think that actually Lionhearts just hit it on their head. Landsknets.
Colourful cod pieces. Yeah, absolutely.
If someone would have said to me sort of 4 years ago, oh, by the way, Steve, you'll be halfway through the Landsknet starter box, I'd be like,
yeah,
step away from the Tipex. But no, I mean, I've got some on the desk here that I'm still painting. Love painting them. Really enjoyable. Really bright. Once they're all done up and you get your banners and your flags, oh, yeah, brilliant. I've got Big Rich to thank for that.
Glendor says, what about Conflict 47? Yeah, I mean, but yes, but no. So I guess one of the things thinking about it, probably the same with the Bruce's thing for me, is that because I've got this room and this big table, I don't mind doing something that only I'm going to play. So Conflict 47, I'm kind of fascinated by it. I think it's really interesting, but it was the fact that I would never have done it in the past because I know nobody would play it. Apart from Martin, because he loves it. I thought, well, now I don't need to worry about that. Same with the Bruces, really. I thought, well, even if nobody ever does it doesn't matter. I'll just play myself. So, yeah, that's true. There was a public service announcements we have to do with some of our friends. Here you go, Marcus. For those listening, colleagues, what's the difference between a pub and a working man's pub? Andy's dead right. The prices. That's basically the difference.
you can buy Baby Sham in one and not the other.
Yeah. So traditionally, working men's club are exactly as they say. It's where working men, particularly in unions and in mining industries and that kind of thing, used to gather to have a few drinks after work. I think there was always a subscription as well, I think, in the past, but as opposed to a pub, which anybody could go into.
Yeah. Some good things here from people. So we've got Matt, easy one, naps. Never even thought about it. Then painted a huge Austrian army. Loved every minute. Don, War for the Roses. Yep.
Good stuff.
Dan, English Civil War. Didn't know too much about it, but that's one of my favourite to read about and game. I think it's always good when you find something like that, though, you've had no interest in.
Amazing.
And then you just start, you start reading about it, and you start painting, you start gaming. It's just, I mean, before starting to pick those landscapes, I had no clue who they were, what they did, and I just knew they wore bright clothes and cod pieces. But it's been great, researching and reading about them.
That's the beauty of any period, isn't it? It's
yes.
when you get to really dig into it and understand what's going on and research it a bit. I think that's the bit I love.
I still like the fact that they could dress like that because they led short, brutal lives. Even better. Rogue Trooper painting nuns.
Painting nuns, yeah.
One from Dan. Yeah, never thought I'd enjoy painting 10mm. It's now one of my favourite. Absolutely, Dan. Yes, okay. Having painted some of those 10mm rock minis, I can certainly understand they're really, really enjoyable to paint. I've got to start making a bit more of a headway onto mine. You cannot go wrong with a good cod piece. If I ever open up a shop, that's going to be my shop motto.
Good one from Red Sven. He says World War II. His great uncles fought, and it always felt weird while they were alive. Now my preferred historical. Yeah, I can see that. A lot of people say that about periods. It's like I have a thing about more modern wars because it's a bit too close to home, but I can get it. Yeah.
And least part painting AWI. Don't start after what I saw yesterday. Don't start me. do not tempt me. Right. Have we got some news?
Yeah. There's news. There is news out there.
Okay. Here's your news intro.
Who's going first? Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first. I was reaching for paint, so you can. Okay,
well, speaking of modders, we've got the news, then we got some Catcon stuff. Actually, quite a lot, actually. So, speaking of moderns, Spectre have put up some more bits and bobs. Now, again, you feel again, you know how we were saying that they've put up some Ukrainian units, right? But I think it's meant to. I don't think they're. Anyway, I didn't screen grab those. But if you want to see them, you can go and see them. But again, like they actually mention it in their comment that they say this might be close to home for some people, and we understand that. But we wanted to represent like units across. Anyway, so there's these ones. These are not Ukrainian. So this is the Agent Crisis Response element. I quite like this because it's kind of like it reminds me sort of like Sicario.
Yes,
and some of the stuff in the Bourne films, which I know that Steve's watching. So I'd quite like to play this game. I think I want to play this more than I want to paint it.
I can understand that.
Is one. So there's some tanks, and then there was this thing, a Femis UGV, which I just thought looked fun. So I think you can get someone to go on the back of it as well. So there's that. I am still very, very tempted to jump into this. The next thing that's up is Grayfinale Games have previewed some of the plastics. Have you guys seen these?
Yeah, I saw a trailer. There was some email today. No, I haven't actually seen it.
No, the plastics and the buildings that you're going to get in the Guards of Traitor Style. So if you remember, this is the one that's sort of maybe a bit Discworldy. You both control a gang of guards, and you're not directly meant to come into conflict with each other, although I think you can. And things happen during the game, like someone gets their pocket picked and you've got to chase him down, or a wizard sets off a spell. So basically you guys have got patrols and events happen in the game. So War Games Atlantic are doing the plastics, and I think Sarisa are doing the coloured buildings. But he's been put these up. Look at these.
They're good, aren't they? Oh, I like them.
Yeah, they've got
multi-part.
multi-part plastics. Also, he's released some STLs for free, which you can go and get if you are in the group. You can go and download them. But look, there's civilians as well. I can see these getting used on a lot of there's bandits and things, and it's the scenery as well. You know, the buildings, and then
oh my word,
how cool is that? You know, I was sitting there going, "Do I really need another skirmish?" Yeah, you know. But I mean, look at. I love these. These would be perfect for D&D and you know, for all sorts. So yeah, I mean, they look very, very cool. So those there's quite a lot coming out about that. It seems to be moving really, really quickly. The development on this, because I swear it wasn't too long ago. It was just a sort of a loose plan.
Did you get the geese as well?
I hope so. I've got some 15mm geese that I found for by Fire and Sword that I painted up as an objective marker, along with a cow, a dairy cow. So there's that. Pre-orders are going out at the moment for the first expansion book. Well, I say it's like the Forces book for Dead Man's Hand. So this is
they're bringing them all together, aren't they? In one book.
Yeah. This has like the Lawmen, the Pinkertons, who are arguably not good. You know, all of the goodies. Yeah, they're in this one. But if you pre-order this, it's £20. So it's essentially an army book, but it contains all of that. It contains all of the cards for those factions, like the special cards, and you get that awesome looking Clint Eastwood from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, or not Clint Eastwood from
not Clint Eastwood,
not Clint,
as well. So it's £20. Which I didn't think was too bad, considering you get everything in it. And then they're going to release the Bad and the Ugly, which is one book, which will have all the other factions in. I think annoyingly, I've got a faction in each book, so so I'll pick those up. What I just came out today, just for the stream, Wargames Atlantic. Now I nearly pushed a button on something today, and now I've paused, because I saw this, which is the Grand Battle Scale Fantasy. So are orcs, and they're very much in the, not that you can probably see them, but I suppose that's about how big they'll look on the table. So anyway, that's they're more classic fantasy orcs. They're not the GW cartoon orcs. They're more of the kind of hobgoblin-y looking, crooked, Tolkien-esque orcs. And Wolf Riders. So they've just previewed that. So there was a thing that I had in my mind that I very nearly bought this week to start. And I might do. I just try. I want to see where this goes. I want to see what else is going to come out for this. Because if it's just here's Yorks, that's not going to help me, because there's a bunch of stuff meant to. I need to see. I need very specific things to fight against it and to be part of it. So I might just go down go back to one, but I'm very interested to see how that goes. What else have we got? Oh yes, so I don't know if Mr. Hicks is still in the chat. I did see he'd popped up. Hobday and Hicks, they've previewed another one of their miniatures. Dom, I think this one's going to really speak to you. It's not a rocket, although I don't know, sticking it together is going to be much fun. So there's this. So this is, let me read this. This is the Servant of Mahanadir. I think it's like an elemental on steroids, basically. Yeah. It looks awesome. Is it going to be metal, like the whole thing? It looks. Is it metal or resin? I haven't actually seen this. But this is going to be part of the Kickstarter that they've got coming out, which will be the Elves and Orcs versus Elves Kickstarter. I mean, it was ace. I mean, I would love this in a D&D campaign to like slap my characters around. Or like in Rangers of Shadow Deep. It's just very cool and very unique. I really like it. Lots of chance for effects on there. So yeah, I think that's Orcs versus Samurai. No, that doesn't need to happen.
No. Dom, how confused are you by that?
I mean,
Is that what's in its arms and the rocket's hidden in its arms?
Oh, resin.
Says in the resin one piece. There you go.
Yeah.
No, if it's a one piece, I don't mind. I have no idea what that is. Absolutely no idea.
Why?
It does look nice.
Martin's Rings of Power homage. The thing I was thinking about is definitely not a Rings of Power homage. Maybe the same universe, but definitely not Rings of Power.
Paul, when does that Kickstarter go? It's fairly soon, I think. The Kickstarter goes live for this.
I can. No, I can't. I'm on Andy Hobday's Facebook page as well. I can't find it. Oh god, I started playing a Q&A video at the same time. What the fuck have I done? I don't know what I've done. Anyway, that's me done. And now I can't.
Now you gotta get
there
out.
We go. Oh, sorry, I just had to. Yeah, there we go. It's gone.
All right. Awesome. What else do we see? So I think you put this one up on the Facebook, and then I nicked it. But that one.
Yes.
Oh.
Victor's 28mm Second World War, which is interesting indeed, isn't it? Revenge. All right, we'll move on. Something you'd be more interested by that one.
No.
Got him. So anyway, Victory Second World War. Interesting. I mean, I would say, do we need any more Second World War German figures?
I thought the guy at the rear right had I really liked that one at the rear right because at first glance I thought he was leaning on a crutch, and then I realised he's not. And then I was thinking, why haven't we got a model leaning on a crutch?
That's the way your brain works.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see, because they look like an interesting scale, don't they?
It's going to be like the other 28 ones. So it's going to be large,
32 probably,
28, like their lows. I mean, I'll be interested if you can kit bash the bits with like their late Roman range, and we can create something truly hilarious. I think they'd be very nice, and I don't, I think if you're into, but they are working on their own war game as well, though, aren't they? So
they are indeed. Yeah. They are indeed. Yeah, they are indeed. But yeah, I think that's. I don't know.
They look awesome.
I think somebody in the ball taxing group said that they, they are going to scale well with Warlord games, plastic. So
okay.
Should be interesting.
Paul says 21st for his fantasy figures next Wednesday. There you go. So if you're interested in that, all those weird elemental.
2 days.
That's 2 days.
That's 2 days time.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
2 days time.
Again. There you go. Don't get confused with dates again, boys. So that was one. Also, just showed the this is next month's Reconquer Designs. The Visigoth.
Oh, I know. Doesn't it look like those photos of like a squad in I don't know, in World War II or Vietnam or something like that, when they get together and they take that photo. I didn't message him. It's like that kneeling guy is just awesome. They are wicked. He's going to be making the other side as well. They're very cool.
Very, very good
very
indeed.
Nice.
Also, I think last week I talked about Eagle Miniatures expanding their ACW range. So we saw all the Union stuff. This is Reds.
Very nice.
I like these as well. Actually, they're really nice. So yeah, that's there's a whole variety of those coming down the line. And also talked about Conflict 47. So they're doing a lot with this, aren't they, Warlord? So
right. Yeah.
I don't know this guy. I don't know who he is. You'll probably inform me, but there you go.
I just kind of wanted to get on with it.
They are teasing a lot, aren't they?
Yeah, I know, but I just kind of wanted to get on with it. I am teased. Get on with it.
Well, they're not going to. The only thing I would say, Martin, they're not likely to launch it before version 3 of
well, I was going to say, aren't they going to? They're going to piggyback it off of it. Well, you say that, but there's been things done before, haven't there?
True. But anyway, what I'm interested in, somebody who's vaguely interested in Conflict 47 is the fact that they're seriously. There was some talk some time ago whether they'd even bother with it anymore, whether it would be drop off their and go off to where other games die. Actually, clearly they're not. They're continuing to invest in it and bring in new people to work on it. So we'll see what comes out of it. But yeah, that was it from me.
But we've got
Catcon stuff.
We do. So a couple of hang on a second, I'm just finishing whatever this dangly bit is on this Terminator, and I'm not entirely sure. So my Terminator's dangly bits.
Yeah.
Right, yes, Catcon fast approaches. So a couple of service announcements. One, if you aren't in the Facebook group or if you haven't seen the post yet, we're looking to see how many people actually want to take part in the big Battle of Decay Black Seas game that's planned. Now, Ian always, who runs the shop, always puts on these awesome Black Seas game. I think people who have played in the Battle of Trafalgar game and whatever the other one was. I can tell. They are awesome and they take part. However, they do require a certain number of players. I think he needs at least 4 players. Currently, we only have 2. So if you are interested now, unfortunately, it's one of those situations where those players would be needed from the start of the day. I know there was a lot of people who may be interested in joining later, and I think you can do that, but it takes a long time for him to set it all up and to get it ready. If there aren't any takers, then we do have a glorious 12th of June. That was it. Thanks, Steph. We do have ones. Oh no, David, don't worry. Tim's in there as well. I've just not updated the name. There's 2 in at the minute. If you do want to, then just sign. Just send us a message. Sign up. It really is awesome, and it'd be a shame if it didn't run. If the game doesn't run, then we do have a backup, but we'll only obviously need to do that if we need to. Someone I think we're quite if we can get some people in there, it would be great because it'd just be a shame if we had to miss it. Visually, it's amazing, and
to play it's good fun as well. From what I hear,
I just like hearing it because there's usually a lot of like cursing and and I always like the bit where someone calls it a boat and Ian gets really upset.
Yeah,
so which is usually me or Haley. Then the next thing is up. If you are coming to Catcon and you would like to come to the Saturday night curry, there is a post on the Facebook page. All you've got to do is comment on that. It's pinned to the featured posts at the top. All you got to do is comment on it, and Haley will put your name down. I think we're up to 46 people now for the curry. It's about £20 per person. It's all you can eat. You're more than welcome to come, even if people who aren't staying overnight at a travel lodge, they come as well, and it's great fun. What we'll normally do is go and have the curry, and then last year we kind of all went back to the travel lodge because Derby was underwater, apart from Steph and Jill, who decided to brave it into town to the Kit Kat Club or whatever the hell it's called. What's it called? Tiger Bar.
Tiger Bar. Kit Kat Club.
Remember what it was called. He's gonna give me shit now in the comments of it. So I'm not too sure what to do afterwards, but also please remember on the Friday night, if you're coming down, we are going to the Tudor Bar. In the Old Bell Hotel. We're taking board games, drinks, and it'll be a good laugh down there as well. We'll be bringing battleships and
scared by the old
Munchkin.
Oh god, Munchkin. I've got it. Do you want me to bring it?
I've got Munchkin Cthulhu.
I've got Munchkin Deluxe, where you have a board to actually, like when you go up a level, you've actually got like a board to go on. And we're making Dom play it, yeah?
Yes.
Right. Munchkin Dom.
It's okay. There's a pub, so it's fine.
There's a pub. But yeah, so we're doing that. So if you aren't on Facebook and you want to come to the curry, pop us an email on the theplasticcrackpodcast@gmail.com. Oh yes, the flood is that a never mind.
Oh jeez.
Dom, do you want to mention I don't think you've shown this off yet.
I don't think I have either, actually.
No. So, well, do you want me to do the price list first?
Yeah, you go for the prices.
So, of course, there will be a commemorative dice to mark the 5th occasion of our
Whoop,
awesome
whoop.
gaming day.
What colour are we going to have this time, Martin?
Who knows? Who knows? It's mystery, but everyone knows it.
A mystery.
But you guys know the deal. We will set those. Now, please remember, all the proceeds go to our chosen charity, which we'll make details of on the day, and there'll be loads of stuff up about it. So we're going to keep everything the same. So if you would like everyone who attends will get a dice. But if you would like a set of 6 dice, they are £7.50. If you would like a PCP mug, which I think is going to make its way onto the screen in a minute, it's £10. But if you would like the combo, then it's £15. So you save £2.50 on that, and they'll be ready to collect when you sign in with Hayley and Jill at the time. So I'll post that up in the group. If you are interested in one of these, I'll put a post up after the stream and go on there. Please just email us at theplasticcrackpodcast at gmail.com and we will essentially give you a receipt and tell you how to pay. Dom, do you want to show them?
Yeah, and after Catcon, anybody who isn't there, we'll arrange for postage and stuff for them as well. So just in case you're interested. So the mug for this year, dun dun dun.
He's there in crack again. Just want to say
it is the symbol for the day, and on the other side, easily pre-approved turnip water. There you go.
Absolutely.
So there
Brilliant.
You go. That is this year's mug as well. So as Martin says, he'll put the post up, and then if you're interested, those attending can pick the dice and the mug.
It's all going wrong.
It's all going wrong. You can pick the mice up too, and then we'll follow up later on for those who aren't there who might want to have it. All for charity, of course.
Is that Ken on the mug? Essentially, because we remember a lot of us haven't actually seen him since he's had a child, and that's what I imagine he looks like now.
Taking its toll.
It could be right.
Oh yeah, we should say as well that James Cutts is doing his unofficial road trip. Friday. Yes. James, I think, he's doing Warlord, Battlefront, Mantic. Yeah, I can't remember if there's any others in there. Was North Star in there? I'll let it be there. But there is a post up in the group, and it's sort of an unofficial. Let's gather. Let's go to all these places and see how many free sprues we can get. That leads us on to the final thing, which is the charity raffle. Yes. So thank you to everyone. We've received a few things for the charity raffle. The way a charity raffle works is it's what it says on the tin. It's a raffle. Tickets will be sold on the day. All the proceeds go towards the charity. If you have got things that you've bought for the pile of shame that you don't want anymore, that are never going to get made, they are gratefully received. What we've said in previous years, and it stays the same, if as far as possible, if things are either if it's like a fully painted unit, that's ace. If it's, like fully assembled, but there's nothing wrong with it, that's fine. What we don't want is what Ken did when he put his part assembled Space Marines in a bag and then gave them out for people to win. But if you guys have got anything you'd like to contribute, if you've bought a couple of starter sets, you've got a spare rule book. I've somehow got, and I think I'm responsible for 2 of these, and I think James Cutts is responsible for the other 2. I've got 4 Flames of War rule books.
I've got loads of them. I have got. Yeah,
we'll be handing those out like coasters. But if there's anyone who would like to contribute to it, it's gratefully received. You can either get in touch with us, and we can give you an address if you want to send it, or just bring it on the day, and it all goes to a good cause. So. There we go. And I'll keep bringing that up again and again each week.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Right, I'm going to fly through a few last questions. On to a couple of questions that were posted today. I'm going to run through these pretty quickly because I don't want to dwell too long on these ones. So, Matthew, how many miniatures have you painted?
Jeez.
What, this year?
Ever.
Well, this month or this week?
God.
Tens of thousands.
Jesus Christ. That I want to count.
I honestly dread to think how. I don't even want to know.
Let's give it a go. Since I started the channel, which was basically when I Kate was coming towards the end of the Napoleonics. So I've got about 2,000 Napoleonics. I've got about 2,000 Wars of the Roses figures. Or 2,500. It must be getting up. I'll just give a happy 10,000 since I started the channel. Maybe. Something like that.
I've got no idea how many I've painted. I've just got no idea.
Dom just needs to take his number and double it.
I mean, I did one year, if you remember, I did have a running total. And I got I scared the bejesus out myself. So what I was painting that year. So no, I mean just tens of thousands. Just no idea. I'm still just barely keeping ahead of the avalanche of empty boxes and things that will fall on me. So yeah. I mean, don't know. Obviously, for Lane's listening, it's about 100.
Okay, next one from Steve. What question are you glad nobody has asked yet?
Oh, geez, that's a tricky one. Because most people ask all sorts of questions. So,
I really don't know. I'm struggling with this one.
I genuinely don't think there's anything I wouldn't be afraid of somebody asking us. I'd be very afraid of things you might ask Ken, because you might get some amazing answers.
Oh God!
Yeah, that's probably true.
Mine would probably be Steve. Do you really, really dislike the Smiths that much?
The answer is
yes, I do.
I thought it was no. He's putting it on.
No.
Yeah, it's all a show. He's just trying to look big.
It's all a show. I'm gonna sit down tomorrow, painting session of the Smiths, Oasis, and I don't know.
God. You heard it here first, folks.
I'd rather listen to my own death rattle.
Does Martin like rocket in his salad? Right. I was looking at that the other day because I'm one of the things I've got to finish is some Zulus, which are just over there. And I was like, I just really want to have a game, but I really don't want to get that rocket out of the box, which it's down there in, because I think as soon as I look at it, it's just going to fall apart on the table, or a stray dice is just going to whack it, and it's just going to.
Can you give it to Robin so that when he tries to operate it and he rolls whatever and it explodes, it literally does explode?
It just will, yeah. Spring loaded.
Yeah, a cataclysmic explosion of metal and dried super glue.
And my eyebrows are in there.
And your eyebrows.
Oh, yes,
and my eyebrows are in there. I glued my eyelid. Oh, God.
Here's an interesting one from Glendale. If you had to change one thing about the hobby, what would it be?
I think the one I would do is I think I'd actually try and make it a bit cooler in terms of, rather than kids rushing to do Games Workshop and all that weird shit that you talk about half the shows, that actually historical was equally as appealing.
Yeah.
That would be one for me.
I would. I don't know. I don't know if that makes me sound like a psycho.
We know you are, Mark.
I'm not. I'm very well adjusted, thank you. Ken's the one who was like, yeah, no, we'll just push them off a cliff. Probably. I'll probably agree with Steve. That probably point systems, or to eradicate them.
But you have a version of your own point system, so how does that work?
I'd eradicate it. I'd quite happily get rid of that. I only did it because it gave some kind of like guidance for the videos. No, I get rid of it. Point systems, chaos, just nothing but chaos.
He's an anarchist.
I'm going to go for.
Sorry, Jason just put price.
Well, yeah, there is that.
Well, yeah, actually, that's true.
I'd go for elitism. Just be eradicated. Just if everyone could just appreciate everyone's games are liked by themselves, and just no more looking down your nose at you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Some people are certainly of that ilk. Isn't it an interesting one from Daniel? Have you ever run into a situation where a friend using your minis has no regard for them and damages them regularly? Not purposely, not purposely, I think, just a lack of care.
I've got clumsy friends, but not one. I mean, my wife knocks over all of my scenery quite a lot. But I can't say that that's not on purpose.
I don't know. I've had a when we did put on that game at Salute 100 years ago, and we did a big demo game, and we painted thousands and thousands of Alexandrians and Indians. I was slightly nervous about that when a whole load of kids basically started moving the chariots around the table and going meow, stuff like that, because I wanted to do that because it sounded really cool. But actually, it wasn't that big a deal. Really wasn't that big a deal. I remember people having a real. There was a phase when I did do lots of competition gaming, and people would get quite upset about leaving their figures on the table in case anyone nicked them at the end of when you're off for lunch or whatever. But no, I haven't had a big issue with that, to be honest. I mean, accidents happen, don't they? I mean,
they do.
It gets broken or what have you. It happens. I can't think of anybody who's deliberately clumsy. There is a guy down the club who does have an annoying habit of coming right over to every time we're playing a game. What's going on here? And poking a figure, and that does make me a little bit. I get a little bit annoyed with that one. But to my knowledge, he hasn't actually broken anything yet. But I'm sure it's a matter of time.
Well, I think. I mean, I think we've all brought our own figures to events at games of Catcon. And I've never worried about anyone breaking anything of mine. I mean, luckily I don't know anyone that would, because there's an etiquette, isn't there? There's definitely an etiquette about.
Oh yeah,
If you've been eating Wotsits and your fingers are all orange and greasy, and you go and just you pick up that block of finely painted French Napoleonic infantry.
I find with war games it's better. Board games are the one that drive me nuts, or card games. People that's when there seems to be a lack of care. Like when they pick up, the cards, and these cards get dog. I mean, ultimately they are, gaming pieces. But I remember, we were one of my friend's girlfriend. We were playing a game of, I think it was one of the Conan board games, and she did a shot of Jaeger, and it kind of tickled the back of her throat. She just spat it all over the board, and I just sat there for. I needed a moment. I had to get everyone to kind of just leave for just a minute. I was, and even now, because I've still got it, there's still like the odd brown spot. There's that whiff of Jaeger every time I open the box.
Lovely stuff. Okay, nice quick one here.
See this one. I just saw this one from old school. I had someone, I don't think it's Simone, someone at a con treat my figure with a sword as a fidget spinner. I think I would have punched them.
Like I said, there's an etiquette, especially if you've been, eating food. You just don't go around picking people's figures up. It's just one of those things. I mean, if you're playing with them, obviously, but if someone is just coming to admire your work, you don't want.
People who like it has a base. Pick it up by the base.
Yes.
Don't pick it up by the bloody figure or the flag. Oh god, the flag. Like especially when you've got like a close combat and someone will just come and they grab it and then they kind of shake it like this. Like that's actually going to no, just stop it. Stop it. You have your figures taken away.
Yeah, I get that. One of the things used to annoy me going to X-Wing tournaments was, and again, I know I'm veering off on a tangent, but this used to get me just so riled. People who didn't have their area tidy. So with that X-Wing, you've got your cards, and you've got your tokens, and your upgrade cards, and some people, it would be just like I don't know how they could work or play like that. Mine was always, this is where these go, and this is where these go, and they shouldn't meet. I'm not going to have tokens flying all over the place. I don't know.
Guilty.
That's just me, though.
Yeah.
Here's a quick one from Nick. Do the PCP gang recommend using a wet palette for painting?
No.
No.
There we go. That was easy.
I'm using one of these little tin trays that somebody talked about. I think it might have been Alex.
Should I use Pringle lids?
Yeah, I usually use a newspaper.
Pringle lids, or my trusty tile, whatever I can. I don't know where that's gone at the moment, so I'm assuming a child has stolen it.
I use these really, really cheap ass painters palettes. You get 5 for about £4, and they just last ages.
Yeah.
I used to use a tile, but no, I don't know. I've never. It's just something that's never appealed to me.
No. I had one for a while, and I tried to use it. Just never really. Yeah.
No, you know my problem is I worked with somebody who never cleaned it, so it. Stank.
I know you're psychologically damaged by.
Yep.
Pallets.
A couple of comments from earlier questions. One from James. Was a player at a large workshop at a game I had a chain of command. Worst game error from the start. Everything was gamey and a must-win mentality. Not what I was expecting from a lardy. No, that's
chain of
true.
command. That's strange.
It is unusual for a lardy game.
It is, because lardy games, they're not. Then they shouldn't be competitive. They like I say, play the period.
Yeah, interesting.
I mean, it was pretty competitive in World War II. It was fairly good.
Yes.
I suppose, that just goes to show that actually it's not competitive gaming necessarily. It's not necessarily a particular period. There are just people who are just different and have a different motivation. And maybe that's all it is. I don't know. And we don't want to see them.
If I ever get round to writing that book about wargaming, I think Robin's got the best title for it. Life's too short to wargame with knobbers. There we go.
That's nailed it.
There we go.
That's just very succinctly put and encapsulates everything. It is just too short to play with.
Eloquent as ever. Well done, Robin.
Yes, there's someone who should be in the Guinness Book of Records. Steve from Basement 1908, most figures on the Napoleonic table.
Yeah, that's true. Gee whiz. Yeah, he'd win it. He would. They wouldn't need to look any further. He'd have it.
Speaking of Steve, here's one for you. He's very perturbed that Dom used the wrong shade of blue on that Burrows and Badgers goat with the minigun he painted a while back. Shame on you, Dom. Shame on you.
Sorry. What can I say? I can only say I was drunk. I was under the influence of narcotic substances, and I don't care.
Oh yeah, people who eat a bag of crisps during a card game.
No,
I think it does come down to that respect thing, and I think Nick's point about people who often don't get that sort of thing are those that aren't a regular player or a painter or something like that. Because I think, but if you know how much effort has gone into painting the figures or collecting that game or whatever it is, you're much more inclined to, kind of treat it a little bit better. Whereas if your own experience of a board game is playing Monopoly every Christmas, where the board game ends up being thrown across the room because you've all had big Barney about it, you're probably going to not worry so much about somebody's very expensive board game that they've spent ages collecting all the bits for and playing. So, yeah.
So Reds fan, don't tolerate people touching my minis without permission. I think it's just it's an unwritten rule, and it's gamers etiquette. It should be.
Do you ask before you touch somebody's figures?
Yes.
Generally, unless I'm playing with them on my side, but I would always pick them up by the base. But no, if someone brings them round, it generally just goes, is it all right if I have a look? Is it all right if I pick this up? Especially if you're going around someone's house and you're doing painting and they're halfway through something. Something that used to drive me nuts is just when people pick it up and it's hard done, because you don't know if it's on the base and finish. You're kind of like, well, you could assume that it's all stuck together and done, but you don't know that that's not waiting or or drying or something. So. Yeah, that's one that used to bug me a bit.
I know when Catcon 2, when I was running Turn 28, everyone that came to have a look at the miniatures, every single person asked permission to pick them up, which I thought was great to see.
Mm.
They were terrified afterwards, but there you go. Paul agrees with me. I'm with you, Steve. Can't beat a tidy area. Absolutely, you need a bit of organisation.
I live in somewhere in the middle between the sort of I don't care. Crap, I need to tidy this because I actually can't find what I'm looking for, and then so I go in little cycles.
Yeah, I have to say I'm a bit like that to be absolutely honest.
Ken approves. The war against wet pallets is nearly won.
But I do like a round dice, Ken. So
it's not going to like that. Oh God, yeah.
Words.
Oh, can you imagine that? Imagine sitting down to a nice game or something, and the person opposite's eating Twiglets.
Well, I just throw them out. So
I love Twiglets. Stop it.
I like Twiglets. Twiglets are nice.
Yeah, I love Twiglets. Twiglets are beautiful things.
Well, how can you like? But you like those lovely crisps.
Yeah.
How can you like Twiglets?
I like Twiglets because they're lovely.
To be fair, I will eat Twiglets if they're there. It's just I never buy them by choice. But I never buy them by choice.
Well, you still like them, so what's the problem?
So does it naturally follow that if you like Twiglets, you also like Marmite?
No, I think it must do. Oh, do you really?
No, I hate Marmite.
I always assumed you'd have to do both. I love Marmite, so.
Oh, I love Marmite.
But then I also don't mind banana flavored things, but I don't like bananas.
I'm almost the other way around. I don't really like banana flavored things, but I do like bananas.
No, my dad was weird. He wouldn't eat tomatoes, but he liked tomato soup.
I don't like cheese, but I like it cooked.
You don't like what?
I don't like cheese, but I like it cooked.
You don't like cheese?
You don't like cheese?
No. But you'll eat a Twiglet?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I'm going to have to reevaluate my friendship with you.
This could be the end of the PCP right here tonight, folks. You're hearing it now.
But you don't like cheese?
No, I don't really. No, I never really like cheese. I will occasionally eat a bit if I absolutely have to, but give it to me cooked. I love it.
So you don't like a cheese board? Like a cheese board with like some crackers and chutney and like.
No.
I agree with Rob, and that's a very sweeping statement.
What is? Don't like cheese.
Not liking cheese.
Well, I mean, okay. So every cheese I've tried, I have not particularly liked. I will eat a bit of really bog standard cheddar raw. But then, what's the point if you're not really that bothered?
The only cheese I won't eat is stuff that's got fruit in it.
Well, nothing good comes with fruit in it. Let's be honest.
Would you eat that maggoty one that's actually illegal?
No. I like a really sharp, tangy blue cheese. No one's going to take your face off.
Yeah.
Wensleydale and cranberry. Not for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind. Yeah. Well, no, I like Wensleydale. It's own. I don't like cheese.
One of my favourite combinations is actually goat's cheese and peanut butter.
Fuck, what is wrong with
you? There you go.
Why can't you just like
Trash there. He's right. He's with me, is he? Don't like cheese unless it's cremated. Good on you.
So would you have camembert? So would you have camembert? Like a nice
if it'd been baked in the oven, yeah, I would.
Oh,
yes.
Lovely.
Yeah, lovely.
Dip it. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. I think weird. What about mozzarella? Like if you get
on a pizza or something. Fantastic.
And a halloumi, grilled halloumi.
Oh yeah.
I don't do anything cooked. I mean, I'll have it cheese on toast.
So if I melt.
If you melt it, I'm happy.
So you couldn't
I didn't say there was logic. I just said I don't like it.
So you couldn't sit down and eat. I mean, one time I think it's called Gambolosa. I ate an entire block before I went to bed one night. And the next day in work, I felt rank. I did not feel well at all. And my team would not leave me alone. I was like, it was a bit foul. Right, we're getting close to 10 o'clock, so let's have a look at some viewers' photographs. And we'll commence this cheese malarkey at another date, Dom. It's cheese with Scotch egg.
None. I was going to say none. Anyway, sorry. Carry on.
Right, so some viewers' photographs. Now, he mentioned them earlier. These are from Alad. These are his sharp practice Spanish. Look at these.
Oh, yes, I saw these.
Oh, that's quite the thought.
Yes.
Very good indeed, Alad. Love it.
I think he's got some 95th rifles in there as well.
What?
Yes.
Oh no, I don't like him now.
Brilliant.
No,
Actually, to be fair, I always like the look of sharp practice forces. I just because they're not as voluminous as sort of larger games. I just think they've got a bit more something about them that I could actually complete.
Really, really good.
Very popular on the channel at the moment. Some more goals.
Oh yes.
yes.
The tactical heads there. I hope so.
These are by Gary. They're lovely. They're really, really nice.
Very nice. Good stuff.
We do like that. Excellent stuff.
There's a lot there, though, isn't there? There's criminy. There's a lot of goals there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
very cool.
You see the table in October, mate. That's going to be a lot.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Carl has got his painting mojo back.
Nice.
He's been painting some 15mm Seleucid cataphracts.
Oh, they're good.
When he said they were 15mm, I did a double take because I was convinced that they were 28mm. I really was.
Wow,
that is awesome.
They are very good. Yeah, as you say, they don't look 15mm.
They don't. I mean, look at the spears. 15mm spears. That not bent to buggery.
Yeah.
No, very, very nice. Up next, Gary. He's been painting some. Gary's been posting an eclectic bunch recently, but he's working on some of his nuns, everything. With this, it's a bit of his.
Some ACWs, good.
Yes.
I'd just like to say that blue is perfect.
It's perfect. It's spot on.
Take note, Dom.
They're lovely. They really are. I really wish people would. I mean, as much as I like seeing them, I said the other week I would never do ACW in 28mm because I couldn't. But the more people post them,
I'm still thinking that when Studio Tomahawk get around to releasing a supplement for muskets and tomahawks for the ACW, that'll be when I do it for that, because I can see that's a supplement. I've had my opinions on, I don't think Shakers and bayonets, we talked about it before, but I do feel like the system would work for the skirmish stuff that happens in the American Civil War. I think it would work. But yeah, so I know that'll be when I break.
A bit more Baron's War now from Lynn with these. Look at that. I love this combination.
Yeah, really.
That's very cool. That's like the big version of the one I just
I was going to say.
Fantastic. Love it.
That yellow is so vibrant, though. I need to get brave and paint something yellow one day, but that's brilliant. Up next is this is a passion project from James. So this is his Glyndŵr Rising Commando.
Oh my god!
Absolutely stonkingly good.
Yes, he's been talking about this for a while. That is just awesome.
When we were coming back from Catcon last year, he outlined his plans for the raid on Conwy Castle.
These are the Tudors, but the early Tudor brothers, isn't it? From the start of the 15th century. Yeah, they basically took the castle with like 30 guys and then held it for like whatever it was, like a year or something.
If you haven't seen it yet, go into the Facebook group and just check out this post and look at all the other shots, because the detail on the heraldry is just beyond.
Yeah, on his White Stag miniatures on Instagram.
Yes, White Stag miniatures. Yeah. Matt has been painting some Prussian dragoons.
Oh, very good.
Oh yeah, they're very cool.
Very nice. Very, very nice. Oh, the basing on that as well. Lovely.
Actually, really nice.
We've had quite a lot of games posted recently, but this one caught my eye. Matthew has been playing Nevermind the Bill Hook.
Oh, cool.
I like the basing on those too.
Yeah.
Very clever.
Very nice. I think it has got its own unique look. It just looks really cool. No, that was good. So that's Matthew. Stefan's been doing some work for Catcon. He's been painting up some more epic ACW with the 14th Brooklyn.
That
is really, really good. I think what he's done there as well, it looks like he's shaped all the hats into kepis.
Huh.
He's done a bit of work on them.
Oh, wow, has he really? Wow,
it looks that way.
Crikey.
Lovely stuff. This is Tom, who's recently joined the Facebook group. In the past couple of weeks, he started a Wars of the Roses project.
Good man. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Lovely stuff.
It's like a disease, I tell you.
And that looks like it's it. There we go.
That's a good bunch of...
Good bunch, good eclectic mix. Like I said, if you're not a member of the Facebook group, wumble across to the link in the description. Answer Dom's questions 3 and ye shall be admitted. Always love to see what people are working on. Just Absolutely. Again, a great mix, great eclectic mix of periods and conflicts and scale and styles, and just really. It's just. I just find it really inspirational. Like I say, the people keep posting things up there, and I'm thinking, no. I mean, a good example is a 28mm American Civil War. I don't want to get involved in that. Well, I do.
You do, Steve.
I just got too many things on. I mean, don't be surprised if I put an order with Peter Pig over the next couple of weeks. Right, we're officially into overtime. It's 2 minutes past 10.
We are. So I can't remember what. So next week's bank holiday. So definitely bank holiday. So no stream. I was nearly going to be at work until no stream, and then the week after we are over on my channel. So first one back on my channel, we'll put out. That's on the 2nd of September. 2nd of September. Dom won't be here. But we should. We hope you have a lovely time. I hope your daughter has a lovely time.
Yes,
I was going to say I'm the sort of just the giver awayer. So yes,
giver awayer.
Yeah.
Okay, so we hope it goes excellent. And then after that, we are on Dom's channel. Because we had the question from, was it Andy, which was what was the how have you formed this into a topic?
Well, I haven't really yet, but on the fly, I will form one, which is to say, what period would you like to war game that nobody else appears to have war gamed before, and how would you go about it?
So essentially, we've got homework.
This has got rabbit hole written all over it.
It does. It does.
And possibly money being spent at the end of it.
Yeah.
Because
but that's what we're here for, isn't it?
That's just the way we are. Don't forget, like I say, just to repeat, we are sponsored by Boards and Swords Hobbies in Derby. Use the code PCP5 when you're checking out to get an additional 5% off your order, off your already discounted order. And Ian's got a great range over at Boards and Swords. Again, big thank you to everyone. I think it just started really raining here. Big thank you to everyone that's watching on the catch up. And we will see you in 2 weeks over on Martin's channel. So have a good week of hobbying, and we'll see you all in 2 weeks. Take care now.
Bye. Bye.